Hey amigos, Costa for Urban Beardsman. Hope you're all well. Today I'm going to talk about a personal subject. Some of you probably know I'm an addict. So I've been clean for 6 years and 8 months and 1 day, according to the calculator, clean time calculator. So I have shared my story on Urban Beardsman about a year ago, so you can go and have a read. Also done a podcast on addiction, a bit of my story and cross addiction with Mr. Benholz and Clayton for Urban Beardsman, so you can have a listen. So this video I am going to really briefly give you a bit of my story, but I would really advise you to go and listen to and have a read on Urban Beardsman. So yeah, like I said, about 7 years clean. I spent 18 years in addiction. It wasn't all heavy. I started at an early age. I was 12 when I first started with drugs and stuff. And that escalated to party drugs, whatever, class A drugs. So to cut the long story short, I ended up homeless about 7 years ago. Yeah, so I ended up homeless and rock bottom. It doesn't mean addiction, everyone ends up homeless. There's rich people, poor people, people from every walks of life who can get addicted. And addiction is not just drugs, alcohol. You can get addicted to almost anything: gambling, sex, digital addiction, which is something I really would like to talk about in the future. I've experienced it myself, also experience of other people. I like to observe, and so I experienced a few people getting really addicted to gaming and social media, stuck to their phones, which becomes quite unsociable. So yeah, anyway, what is addiction? Well, for me, and I think for most people, addiction is a urge beyond control. So something we can't control it, but you gotta do it. Just for example, drug addiction or alcohol, it just becomes part of your life once you are in that cycle, and no matter what, that's what you gotta do. I lost all my morals, became very selfish, all these crazy defects and behaviors. So basically what I'm saying is addiction, it comes with a lot of behaviors. In recovery, what I've learned about all that is I needed to change the way drugs made me think. I need to get my morals back. My mum taught me when I was little. So it was about connecting the brain with the heart. Was about learning about my defects, learning about my behaviors, how my behaviors affect other people, which in the long run affects me. So it was about learning all that stuff and doing something about it, change. So once I learned about some behaviors, the way I behave affect other people, and so it was about practicing not to do those behaviors, not to behave like that. Defects don't just go away, but once you learn about your defects, like most people are very proud, so pride is a big defect I've have. Now depends how I act on that defect or any other defects like selfishness. So I've learned about my defects, and what I had to do about it was practicing on a daily basis to not act on those defects. What do I do for that? Well, I firstly got a sponsor. I did my recovery through AA. There's other ways of, getting help. I do advise people to, if you're struggling, if you access a computer or if you know someone, just Google help with addiction, and I'm sure you'll get loads of services, or just AA. So I did it through AA. I did steps. So I had a sponsor going through the steps, and step 4 for me was where I learned a lot about myself. Yes, I had counseling, and in counseling I also learned a lot about myself. But these two things combined, the counseling rehab I went through, and with the steps, that taught me a lot about myself. Made me realize how selfish I was in addiction. How inconsiderate and proud. My ego was like really off the roof, and my self-esteem was so low, so it just was no balance. So I've learned to balance my self-esteem and my ego, so keep it there. So be a respectful human being and learn to love others. So step 4, I was saying, taught me a lot about myself. All those defects I have to write, all the people I've harmed, resentments I held for so long, and then later on step 9 I went and made amends, which is freeing up all those resentments, like get rid of all that bad baggage. Resentment is the number 1 offender in my books of recovery. If you hold the resentment for too long, you just become bitter, and just becomes bigger and bigger, and you end up hating someone for no reason. No need for that. If you feel resentful towards someone, have a good think about it, not in a bad way, and just admit your part of whatever happened, and maybe apologize to that person, even if you're in the wrong. Maybe just say something. If that person don't want to talk, just let go. No need for resentment. You're just gonna end up bitter. That person might be miles away having their fun or with their family, whatever, and no point of you sitting around boiling your blood over whatever happened. So careful with the resentment. But yeah, make sure you realize all those defects, and your behavior, your thinking will start to change. You start seeing things with a different set of eyes. Start appreciating people, the world, everything more. Be more considerate, and definitely will feel more love. In my addiction, I lost a lot of my family. I ran away. I've got a daughter. She's now 11, and she was like 3.5, 4 when I ran away. I had to leave because I was so stuck in addiction, and my selfishness, the way I was thinking was, I have to go away because I'm no good to be around my daughter when all I can think about is where I'm going to get my next fix, my next drug, my next drink. So that is sad, but it was what happened. So I ran away, and not even realizing I was harming my daughter more than if probably I stayed and got help at the time. But my drug addiction was more powerful than my will to recovery. Actually, I didn't know anything about recovery. I did want to stop, but I just couldn't. I was too stuck in it. So if you're stuck in addiction, you want to stop, bite that bullet and just ask someone for help. AA, NA, CA, whatever services you can get, just ask for help. That's the first step. Just go and ask for help. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there like myself would love to help. And the reason why I'm doing this video is to see if this video reaches someone who's struggling, or a family member knows another family member or friend that is struggling, and maybe this will help. I really hope so. So if any of these subjects I've talked about affect you or someone you know, I'm gonna put some links on this video where you can get help, like depending on what country you are, but every country you can get help from. So I'm gonna put a few links of where you guys can get some help for, or even if you want to reach out to me, just comment and leave a comment there. If you want to do it privately, you can find my email address on my Instagram account, which I'll leave the link on the video too, and reach out through there, and I'll give you some answers if whatever questions you have. So that's it for now, and until the next video, hope this helps you guys. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and yeah, stay cool.